Hello all my Kenvians and welcome to a new episode of Discovering Steven Universe. Today, coming after the episode where Peridot called Yellow Diamond a clod, making Yellow Diamond clearly very angry, comes log date 7/15/2. Or maybe it's 7152. I'm not sure because I think someone commented that it was actually 15 in the previous video, so I don't entirely know. But I guess I'll find out as we begin log date 715 or 15/2 on Steven Universe. Because this is Discovering Steven Universe, and this is the show. Let's begin. Log date 7/15/2.
7152.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe I just did that. Orders and went against Yellow Diamond's wishes. Every rule. Now I'm a traitor. A rebel. A crystal gem.
She's going crazy.
The tape recorder seems to be helping. No.
Oh, you must be Peridot.
Is he gonna test out the flight, or is she gonna test out the flight capabilities?
You are.
You can't just shut.
Why did the chicken cross the road? The chicken wanted to get to the other side of the road. What's chicken? Ones are constantly filling the void. How could anyone indulge in this? Faceless dribble. I'll have no part of it. Load of camp pining hearts. Doesn't that mean anything? You got all this from one episode? It's subtext.
Oh my god! She's in a fandom.
I remember that. Shall we?
Oh! They formed Opal! Oh my god! It's been freaking forever since we saw Opal.
That looks great. Let's take a break.
What? Instead, I gained a better understanding of Garnet.
Wait, keep it on a moment. Steven, you probably shouldn't have listened to Peridot's logs, but I know your curiosity comes from a place of caring. You should give the recorder back to her now. She's going to want to keep it.
Wait, what? Check this out. Wow, thanks.
So freaking cute! Oh my god! I just... Oh... Okay. Okay, this was... I mean, after the high drama of the previous episode, this was a much more laid-back one, and I feel like it was definitely needed as a contrast and sort of a resting point for, well, me as a viewer. Again, in contrast to that previous episode. Let's get into some of my favorite parts. The biggest of which I feel like, well, okay, maybe not the biggest, but definitely I feel like the most impactful from the very beginning is Peridot's coming to terms, maybe? Or just her freaking out over being a traitorous clod. It's like, on one hand, she seems elated and excited by the fact that she actually did that, and on the other hand, she's also terrified and has no idea what to do with herself. And it just, it works so well. It really does. So yeah, that was just an amazing part of this episode. Okay, I misspoke. It's definitely not the biggest element of the episode, but oh my god, it had me hooked from the very beginning because of that. My second favorite part was the fact that Peridot actually tried thinking that perhaps all organic life on Earth can fly because she saw a bug. She tests out Greg's flying capabilities by pushing him off of the roof. Oh my goodness. It's just absolutely... I don't know how else to put it. It was absolutely hilarious. And the fact that Garnet, and this was a consistent theme throughout, but Garnet recognized that Peridot is still trying to understand the Earth. There's still a lot she needs to learn. It worked together so well, especially coming off of that where she could have possibly killed Greg. Thankfully not, but had Garnet not been there, it could have been a possibility. But my next favorite part of this episode was Steven's gift for Peridot, because clearly she misses her limb enhancers. So he basically, I guess they were paint cans, and he painted on like little flames, but gave her these limb enhancers to use. And Peridot's reaction to them, it's like at first, clearly it's Peridot and she's kind of resistant to things at first, but she loved them. She absolutely loved them, and we see her wearing them more than just once in the episode. We actually see it when she's attempting the little fusion dance with Garnet, and I just loved that. Absolutely loved the way they did that. Well, my next favorite part of the episode is something that basically anyone that is a fan of this show, a fan of Doctor Who, a fan of other shows can relate to, and that is Peridot joins a fandom, or forms a fandom, or whatever you want to call it, for this soap opera camping show. Speaking of which, the first character we see on screen with a big fluffy hair looked a lot like Rose Quartz to me. I don't know if the other character is supposed to symbolize anyone, but again, it's like that first character definitely reminded me a lot of Rose Quartz. But just, again, the fact that Peridot forms this fandom and actually goes through all of this theory and goes over why these certain characters are right for each other, to the point where Steven actually fast forwards through it on the tape, was amazing. Absolutely amazing. And then that also plays into Garnet helping to teach Peridot the idea of fusion, why she stays fused all the time. I think it was like Pierre and Paul, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I really like the way they did that. Next favorite part of this episode was completely unexpected, but Pearl and Amethyst fused to form Opal for just a minute. It was short-lived, and I don't think, well, except for maybe we didn't really get any voice acting, so I don't know whether they actually had the voice actor for Opal in on this episode, but just the fact that we got to see her after a long period of not seeing her. I'm trying to think of actually the last time Opal appeared, and I think it may have been, God, I actually don't know the last time we saw Opal, so yeah, no real clue there. But yeah, just getting to see her I thought was absolutely awesome. And I hope we do get, little sprinklings of the different fusions coming in from time to time. I just think that would be awesome. Now, my next favorite part of this episode, and really my final favorite, was Peridot bonding with Garnet. And just how that played through. And again, Garnet explaining to Peridot why she stays fused in very simple terms by relating her situation, Garnet's situation, to this fandom, this show that Peridot had come to enjoy so much. And this wasn't a superbly eventful episode, but I feel like it was one of the most well-written overall. Like, the structure was just done really well. It was, again, just amazing character development on the part of Peridot. And, God, I hope that more of this writing transfers through into future episodes. And don't get me wrong, I've enjoyed the writing in most of the episodes. But this one, just the way that they did all of it, I thought was quite brilliant, to be completely honest. Now, as for Annoyances, didn't have any. Go figure. Haven't had any for a while. No moments of terror, for clear reasons. Again, it wasn't super eventful. So, yeah, there was that. No particular tracks stood out to me as far as tracks of the episode go. I don't know what was playing exactly during the short scene where Garnet and Peridot were, sort of attempting that little fusion. Again, I don't know if there was any particular track playing during that, but if so, that probably would have been one that stood out to me more. But again, I don't really recall any particular tracks that stood out to me. Quote of the episode, and there were a few that I missed just because I was getting really caught up into the episode, but when Peridot decides that she wants to give the recorder back to Steven, she says, "Return madness to its source!" And just something about that line just really clicked with me. So yeah, that was my quote of the episode. As for a question, don't really have a question. Other than maybe, how much longer until the drill's complete and they actually start to utilize it. Interested to find that out. As for a theory, my theory is that we might see a fusion between Peridot and someone else. Not necessarily Garnet, although there's definitely more of a possibility there, but I think we're going to see a fusion between Peridot and one of the others fairly soon. By fairly soon, I mean like maybe sometime in the next 20 episodes. I don't know whether it'll actually present itself an opportunity, but that would be interesting to see for sure. Now, as for my overall thoughts on this episode, it should be quite clear I really enjoyed it. Again, not a very eventful episode, but the way it was written was superb, and I just truly, truly enjoyed it throughout. So yeah, I just really loved this episode. And I'm looking forward to hearing what you all have to say. As always, I want to hear your own annoyances, your favorite parts of this episode, what you have to say about mine, and anything else you might want to throw out there, such as some of your own quotes, so on and so forth. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about log date 152. So yeah, I guess there's nothing to do now but move on from here. Coming up next is going to be Super Watermelon Island, and I'm just going to venture a guess that since they mention watermelon specifically, that we might see a return of the Watermelon Stevens, which we haven't seen for a very long time. It'd be interesting to see if that is the case. And, well, as always, if you want to see more episodes like this ahead of time, anywhere from a few days to a few weeks ahead of time, you can become one of my patrons over at patreon.com/PapaKennMedia, and for as little as $1 a month, you can get access to different videos, different discovering series, so on and so forth. As soon as I have them uploaded to YouTube, before they actually go public on their scheduled dates, I will put them available and viewable to you patrons. So yeah, keep that in mind if you're interested at all in doing that. But until next time, everyone, for Super Watermelon Island, I am Papa Kenn, and I will see you on the next episode of Discovering Steven Universe.